Oh, let me 1 second. Um,
Let me.
okay, now I see.
I hear.
Good morning, Mike. Nice to
Good morning,
see
Robert.
you. All right, now I see my friends. I see Cyrus and Jim and Irene Lancaster and Anvar. So nice to see you each. And Marcel behind the screen. Good morning. We're going to get started. Ellen, I think I may get started in a moment. Let me put on my tefillin. You guys are a step ahead. All right, we have.
Nobody has to go on.
I hope you each have your own siddur. So we're not going to be putting up on the screen the siddur or the chumash this morning. So hopefully you have those things to lead you. And with Ellen, are you staying on?
Yeah. I'm a Torah reader.
Oh, excellent.
I'm a
Excellent.
firstborn too.
What's that?
I said I'm a firstborn. I just never participated. So.
I'm glad you're there. And I'll tell you, technically, it's one of those distinctive situations where in Egypt, only firstborn males were vulnerable.
Sure.
So the girls got off. And as a result, only firstborn males are endangered where they mark this particular need to fast traditionally.
Yeah.
So that explains why you never felt the compulsion, Ellen.
But
You never felt the compulsion.
no, I didn't.
Yeah, that's why you got off. If you have listened to, you're reminding me, I sent out this bibliodrama of Peter Pitzley doing Miriam. And if you haven't heard it, Mimi will do a testimonial. Go ahead, Mimi, do a testimonial why they want to listen to it as a fellow Miriam.
As a fellow Miriam, it is. It opened not his presentation, his bibliodrama. I just use his word. Opened doors to me, and I've thought about Miriam, obviously, but not totally imagining what everything felt like. And it was absolutely wonderful. And now I'm so sorry that I didn't ask my grandfather more about his mother, who lived to be 102.
Wow.
So I sent that out a couple days ago. It's about 24 minutes long. It's Peter Pitzley imagining the birth of Moses as Moses' sister and some other pieces, and it's really worth doing. So for tefillin, while I'm waiting for Howard to put on his tefillin, I'm going to teach you something. You see, Mike Myman's tallis is multicolored. That was designed by Rabbi Zalman Schachter Shalomi to represent the seven sfirot. Here's something else that Reb Zalman taught me, and that is in putting on my tefillin, in terms of the straps, you create a gap. So today is Thursday. That would be the 5th day. And then there's a gap between 6 and 7. So every day when I put on my tefillin, if it's a Sunday, I put a gap between the first and the second. And it's just another way of marking time and consciousness raising. So I bring that to your attention. All the more, Mike, if you have a Reb Zalman tallis, you can be a full-on chassid by putting on your tefillin that way too. So anyway,
I don't know if it's okay. I feel like undoing the tefillin and putting it again with the gap on the 5th. I like that idea.
Yeah, so that way it's kind of a reminder of what day of the week. As another kind of, first thing in the morning. It's just a nice habit at this point. All right, so this morning we're somewhat on a timetable in that Howard's going to lead the davening. We have Torah readers from the respective homes. Since it's a Thursday, there are Torah readers. Otherwise, it's the same davening. I mean, as we would normally have. And I say that in the presence of my ritual chairs, Esther Dosick and Mimi Goldstein, that this is a traditional davening. And I thank Mike Baer for assigning our Torah readers. Also, do note, since I have your attention, that Sunday, well, the first day of Pesach, and a week from Sunday, the last day of Pesach, which is also Yizkor, we are doing our services outside at CBI. Those services are at 9:30. They'll also be live streamed. You need to RSVP in advance, but we maintain social distancing and masks, so it feels safe. But it is a chance to be in person if you would like to do so. So do RSVP to the office on the website or by writing Carol Serber to be in person. At 9:30 this morning, I will be doing a psalm, and that's Psalm 115 from Hallel. Their idols are silver and gold. So it worked out that this week we have done 3 of the 6 Psalms, 13, 14, and today 15. And next week, 16, 17, and 18, which are the Psalms of the Seder and of our davening. All right, with that, Howard has his book open, is ready to go. But before he does, we pause to give Katie a hug and a mazal tov on her and Eric's engagement.
Wonderful.
Oh, and Eric's there too. Okay, we congratulate you, Eric, and you, Katie. It adds joy to have you in our presence. All right, Howard, I give it over to you.
Okay. I thought there is, I do not have this, but there is an online version of the Siddur. I don't know if you have that, Rabbi, and can display it.
I double checked and I didn't, but it's also hard to read for a regular davening.
Okay.
So I'm relying on everybody to have their own siddur. We have a self-selected group here of daveners.
Okay. In that case, please rise. I am using the old Siddur Sim Shalom, and I'm going to base.
And I'll add, to anybody who wants, we still have old Siddur Sim Shaloms in the synagogue for free. So keep that in mind. We can put them aside for you. Okay, Howard.
I'm on page 10 for Birkot Shahar. Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sechli bino l'havhin ben yom u'ben layla.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmo.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani ben chorim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivri.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam abri shalomim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asuri.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokeh kufufri.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rakar sel hamayim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shesali kol tzarchi.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechli mitzadei gavel.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten le'oef koach.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten le'oef Udeinu hayom l'chol yom l'chesed l'lecheinu l'cheinu l'chesed l'rachamim v'einecha v'einei koreinu v'tigmaleinu chasadim tovim Baruch atah Adonai omer chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael. We move ahead to Kaddish. The Rabbanan. Let's see. I have to go through
Page 20.
page 20. Here we are. Mourners and those observing yard site, please rise or remain standing. Page 20. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yalmad yivrach v'yotei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei v'chol beit Yisrael b'agolo b'zman kariv v'imru amen.
Amen.
Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah m'barach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalau shemei v'kudashah b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata damiran v'yalba v'imru amen.
Amen.
Al Yisrael v'yal Rabbanan v'yal Talmidehon v'yal kol Talmidei Talmidehon v'yal kol mon da'oskin b'yoraita dibiatra hadin v'di v'b'chol atar v'yatar Yehei l'chol u'l'chol shlom rabba chino v'chista v'rachamin v'chayin arichin u'mezon aravicha u'korkanon min kadam avuhon debishmaya v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlom rabba min shemaya v'chayin tovim alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mamav u'barachamav yaseh shalom alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
We turn to page 21. No, we turn to page, I'm looking for Baruch Shamar. It's on page after this.
54.
64?
54.
5-4.
5-4, right. Please rise again. Baruch Shamar V'Hayalam Baruch Hu Baruch Oseh Reshit Baruch Omer V'Yoseh Baruch Gozer U'Mekayeh Baruch Merachem Al Ha'aretz Baruch Merachem Al Habriyot Baruch Meshalem Sachar Tov L'Rayach Baruch Eloah V'Hayam L'Netzach Baruch Podel Matzil, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, El ha'arachman mu'al mati amo, Meshubach u'mfarach b'lshon chasidav avodah, B'sherei David avdecha, Na'alel Adonai Eloheinu, B'shmachol u'b'zmichol, Legadecha u'nashpechacha, Nefrecha u'nashkishim kol malikecha malkeinu Eloheinu, Yachi Cheolamim melech meshubach u'mkvar yad shemo agato, Baruch Atah Adonai melech ulal batishbach. We skip ahead to
80.
Ashrei,
Page 80.
80. In the middle. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Od Yahalelu Chasem Kakalon Fresh Noel Hagi Lam David and Fanai Melech the Kasha Kolin Wed Olim Avaka Sukon Bad. Teachet Yotecha Maspil Chokai Ratzon Chol Chausi Chomasa Shamir Adonai Koava Vekorshim Yashmihi Hilad Adonai Yadaber Ki Barech Obasar Shem Katrol Elam Ba'ed Varaknu Barech Yahweh Yatam Yad Olam Hallelujah. We skip ahead to page 88.
You can come
In the
in.
middle.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, b'tziltzalei Kol anshama hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol anshama hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We skip ahead to
94.
94. Sorry, my fingers are cold. There we go. Yishtabach. Yishtabach, Shim Kolo Ad Malkeinu, El Machagoro Kadosh, Ares, Kilachano, Elohim, Elohim, Shir, Zimra, Zimshalad, Nasakulogura, Hilad, Tiferet. Kiddushan Malchut, Brachot v'Hadot, Me'atav Yad Olam, Baruch Atah Adonai, El Melech Gadol B'Tishbachot, El Hadot, Adonai Niflot, Habocher B'Shivei Zimra, Melech Elchei Olamim. Yikadal v'Yikadash Shemei Rabbah, Yom Adi Brachutei V'Amlich Malchutei V'Chayechon V'Yemechon V'Chayei L'chol Beit Yisrael B'Gala V'Zman Kariv Yimru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Lo Me'olmaya. Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitbar V'Yitmam V'Yitnaseh V'Yitatar V'Yitalev V'Ashmei L'Kudusha B'Richu Le'Lam Yimkol V'Chata V'Shivata Tushbachata V'Nechemata Damiron B'Yolma Imru Amen. Page 96. Please rise. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. I don't hear anything. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated.
Everybody's muted, Howard.
Oh, I don't want everybody muted. How do I unmute them? Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Tov Yetzar B'Chovod. Yitbarach Sarei Malkeinu B'Golenu Baruch Kadoshim Shishpach Kol Malkeinu Yotzer Meshatim Yotzer Meshatim Kulam Ahuvim Kulam Berurim Kulam Kulim Kulam Osim B'Yem Avenir Avitzon Konaham Kulam Potim Et Bichem B'Kisha B'Torah B'Shira Zimra Uvarchim Ushavchim Ufarim Umaritzim Umakdishim Umamlichim. Page 98. Et Shem Hoel Hagadol Giboran Rakodosh Hu Bekulam Kablim Aleim Malchus Shamayim Zemizel Ananim Shizalazeh Lakish B'Yosrom V'Nachat Ruach B'Safav L'Rabbanim HaKedusha Kulam Ke'achoronim V'Yomim V'Yira Kadosh 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 Adonai Tzvaot Malok Kol Haaretz Kvodo והאופנים וחייל הקודש ברעש גדול, מתנשאים ומצורפים ותום השבחים ואומרים, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. רואל ברוך איתנו. Ring v'yolam chastohu, or charash al Zion toyev nizkeh kulon meher oleo, baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'miyorohu. We can gather our tzitzit. Rabbav tanu Adonai Avienu shalom le'arba konfot ha'aretz v'tolachenu k'mimiut l'artzenu ki el poel Yeshua ratav v'navachad mikol am lashon v'kerav tanu l'shimcha hagadol sela v'yamet lo dot l'chol yehecha v'yava baruch atah Adonai habocher b'shirei zim habocher b'yamo Yisrael b'yahava. Page 100. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavcha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol meodecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivdecha b'veitecha, v'lechtecha b'derech, v'shavtecha v'chumecha, Ukshaton leod al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'neinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha v'haya yishmot shefay shenechim yitzavecha Vayomer al Yisrael lemor daber b'nei Yisrael amatar lehem v'asu lehem tzitzit al kanfei b'gdehem l'toratam v'nadu al tzitzit v'naf techil techeilet v'hayu lechem l'tzitzit v'tem otos v'tem otom shmod Adonai asitem otam v'lo tatuvu acharei levavchem acharei v'nechem asher tem zolim v'rechem v'an yizkuru asitem otom tzvotai V'chayisham kadoshim le'elohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim להיות לכם לאלוהים, ani Adonai Elohechem emet. ודור ודור קיים, שמו קיים וכיסאו נכון ומלכותו ולד מונותו לא עד קיימת. ודבר חיים וחיים Avotenu aleinu v'almenu v'yalvar kol Lord Zer Yisrael avadecha. Avotenu v'yalvar Emet shatahu Adonai Elohim v'Elohim avotenu Malkeinu melech avotenu Go'aleinu go'el avotenu Yotzreinu su Yisroatenu Podeinu matzilenu v'yalam shemecha Elohim zulatecha. Page 104. Ezra avotenu atahu me'olam No gain was your name Rechem Cholvador. Hilo leil yon baruch varach Moshe v'nei Yisrael l'cha'anu shira v'simcha rabba v'yamnu kulaham Micha mocha b'elim Adonai Micha mocha nedar b'kodesh Norati lo rosef eleh Shira chadasha shimchu gelim l'simcha aspat hayam yachad kulom hodavim v'chu v'yamru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Please rise. So Yisrael, kumo v'yesgad Yisrael, ufneknu mecha Yehuda v'Yisrael, go aleinu, Adonai Shalot Shemo, Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai, oh Yisrael. Amen. We return to page 106 for a quick repetition. Chazarat Hashatz. Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elokei Avotenu, Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov, Oel Hagadol Hagibor Hanarei El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot, U'mevi Goel Lifnei B'neihem L'man Shemo B'Yava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Mogen, Baruch atah Adonai, Mogen Avraham. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע מושיב הרוח מוריד הגשם מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר מחומך בעל גבורות ומדום מלך מלך ממיד ומחיי מצמיח ישועה ונאמנתו לחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. Page 108. נקדש את שמך ולום כשם שמך שימותו בשמי מרום ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוא כל ארץ כבודו לעומתם ברוך יאמרו ברוך כבוד אדוני מן כל באו ובדברי קודשך כתוב לאמור ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהי ציון לדור ודור הללויה לדור ודור נגיד גדלך ולנצח נצחים קדושת קנקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. אתה עונה לאדם דעת ולמד אנוש בינה Hanenu Meikha De Abinu V'Chaskel Baruch Atah Adonai. Onein Hadad. Hashivenu Avinu L'Tortecha, Harvenu Malkeinu L'Avodatecha, V'Chachazivenu B'Shuva Shlema L'Fanecha, Baruch Atah Adonai. Harotzeh B'Shuvah. Shalach Lanu, Avinu Ki Chatanu, Mechalanu, Malkeinu Ki Pashanu Ki Mokel V'Salech Atah, Baruch Atah Adonai. Hanun Amabel Shloach. Rein Abi Anienu, V'Rivar V'Vinu V'Golenu, Meher Lam Shmecha, Ki Koel Chazagata, Baruch Atah Adonai. Goel Israel, page 112. V'choleinu Adonai v'nei rofeh, v'hoshienu v'ni v'shiach ki hiloheinu atah. Al erko asleinu makol makoteinu, ki al melech rofenu emon v'rachamon atah, baruch atah Adonai. Rofei cholei amo Yisrael. Baruch aleinu Adonai Eloheinu et hashana azot ve'et kol minei tavot tova, v'tein talam atar v'bracha al pnei adama, v'saveinu mitzvah. Baruch Hanashenu Kachamim Hatovot, Baruch Atah Adonai, Nevorech Hashanim. Tika b'shofar gadol l'cherotenu b'sanei skal beis gudotenu v'ratzenu Yaakov le'avachav ha'oretz Baruch Atah Adonai, Mekabesh Nichayim al Yisrael. Hashiva shoftenu k'varishona v'yotzenu k'vatihla. Asher mimeni yagonu alcha, v'loch aleinu atah Adonai levarcha v'chesed v'rachamim v'tzakenu v'mishpat. Baruch Atah Adonai. Melech ohev tzedakah mishpat, v'masnim al tihi tikva v'kol arisha karigat oved, v'kol oivecha mehira yukaretu, v'hazedi mehirata ker u'tshaber u'tmager v'tachni avim harav yamenu, Baruch Atah Adonai, shover avim v'knachni azedi, page 114. Al tzadikim v'al chasidim v'al ziknei amcha beit Yisrael, v'al bnei tatzofreihem, v'al geri atzedek aleinu yanu racha mechad and Eloheinu v'tein sachar tov l'chol abotim b'shimcha v'yamed, v'sim chalkenu imahem v'lolam v'lovoshki b'chol v'taknu, Baruch Atah Adonai, mishanu v'tachat tzadikim. Yerushalayim yercha b'racha muvtashuv, v'tishkon kol asher dibarta, Uvnei atah v'karov b'yameinu v'yanalav v'kisei davim l'hir l'toch atachim, Baruch Atah Adonai bonei v'shalayim. Et semach David avdecha mehir tatzmiach v'karot harim yeshuatecha ki li yeshuatecha t'vinu kol hayam, Baruch Atah Adonai matzmiach heran Yeshua. Shema kol leinu Adonai Eloheinu husrachem aleinu v'kabel b'rachamim v'ratzon tfilatenu. Yeel shomer tefilot takanuni mata. V'melfanecha malkeinu rekam al shivenu ki atah shomer tefilot amcha Yisrael b'rachamim Baruch Atah Adonai shomer tefillah. Let's say Adonai Eloheinu v'amcha Yisrael tfilatam v'ashevet havodali v'beitecha tfilatam v'avak v'el ratzon iti ratzon tamid avadecha, page 116. V'techazena inenu b'shu kol etzion b'rachamim Baruch Atah Adonai. Amachazir shekinato l'tzion modi manach lulach. She'atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'hetenu le'olam v'oed. Zor chayenu v'geni shenu atahu l'dor v'ador. No dan l'chal l'sapirti l'techa chayenu v'surim v'yadecha v'al nishmotenu hakudot l'cha v'al nisecha shebechol yom imanu v'al nishmotecha v'tovatecha shkol eder v'vokav tzarayim. Atov kilo, kalu rachamecha v'hamrachem, kilo tomu chasher v'gabelam, kivinu la. Page 118. Ya'kulam yisbarak yisbaram shimkom l'keinu tamid le'olam v'oed. V'chol achayim v'ducha selah lalu shimkom v'yamet v'hoyel yishuatenu v'yashuatenu selah, Baruch Atah Adonai. Atov shimkom l'chol v'elehodot. Page 120. Eloheinu v'elevatenu, baruchenu v'avracham shuleshet b'Torah. Akrival yedei Moshe Avdecha Hamaram Pi Aaron V'no Kohanim Ham Kadoshecha Kamor Yevarecha Kadad Yisrorecha Yoyer Adonai Panav Elecha V'Yichunecha Yisar Adonai Panav Elecha V'Yichsenucha Shalom. Sim Shalom B'Olam Tov Avracha Chein V'Chesed V'Rachamim Oleinu V'Yakol Yisrael Amecha V'Orcheinu Avinu Kulam Ki Echad B'Yarkonecha Keep your pornecha natat alonu Adonai Eloheinu Torah chayim v'yavat chesed u'tzedakah v'rachamim chayim v'shalom v'tov v'einecha levarechet l'chol Yisrael b'chol edu b'chol shah b'shlomecha Baruch Atah Adonai hamvorechet amo Yisrael b'shalom. Rabbi, are we doing Tachanun? I have to. No talking on. Everybody's muted. Who did that? Am I?
I don't believe you can do Tachnun during Nissan.
Oh, right.
Correct.
Okay.
Rabbi, you are muted.
Okay.
It's omitted throughout all of Nissan.
Okay. Chatzi Kaddish, page 122. Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitbar, Yikadal, Yikadas, Shemei Rabbah. Yamad Yivrach Utei Yam Lichmach Utei V'chayechon of Yomechon V'chayechon Beit Yisrael Bagalav Yisman Korivim Blu Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mavarach Leolam Laomei Omaya. Yitbarach Yishtabach Yitpar V'Framam Yitbasei V'Dadar V'Dalev V'Dalal Shmei D'Kudeshah Barichu. Leilam Yom Kol B'Kotav V'Shirata Tushprata V'Nechemata Damiron V'Yolma V'Yibru Amen. And we go to the Torah service, which is on page 138. Right? Honey, we're going to grab the Torah, I guess, and put it over here. We'll carry it. No, don't do it yet. We'll go pick it up. It'll be ceremonial. Vayehi bimso Aaron vayomer Moshe hu ma'Adonai v'yachutzoi lecha v'yanisah misanecha mipanecha ki mitzion tetzei Torah dvar Adonai miYerushalayim baruch shenatan Torah li'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Can you go grab the Torah? You need help with it? Okay.
I assume this is kind of like the art.
Yes, that is the ark. You got it? Yeah.
You have to move your coffee cup, please.
You got enough room here? I have to move that too. All right, I'm going to aim this over here. All right. Now you can take it out of the ark. You want to, I'll hold it. I'll pick it up. All right, you got it? I got it. Gadlu Ladonai iti, Unramama Shemo Yaakov, Lecha Adonai Hagadol, V'Hativu, V'Hatiferet, V'Hanetzach V'Hahod, Ki Kol Bashamayim Uvaretz, Ki Kol Bashamayim Uvaretz. Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha, V'Hamidasei Lechol Rosh, Romamu, Romamu, Adonai Eloheinu, V'Hishtachavu, V'Hishtachavu, L'Hadam Ragav Kadosh Hu, Romamu, Romamu, Adonai Eloheinu, V'Hishtachavu, V'Hishtachavu, L'Hadam Kadosh Hu, Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Here, go grab the tape, pull this cover off of it.
So this morning we have 3 Torah readers. Again, the service this morning is the typical service for a Thursday morning, a weekday morning. We do the service today in that traditionally one does not fast leading into Shabbat. So when it works out that Shabbat is Saturday night, bottom line, you back it up to fast for the firstborn to Thursday. We have 3 Torah readers. Ellen Mirowitz. Mike, you're one of the Torah readers?
Yeah.
No? Who are the 3 Torah readers?
Eric and Lauren, I think.
Eric and
No.
Katie.
Katie.
Eric and Katie.
Katie.
Yeah,
Okay,
Katie.
great. So I'll let our Torah readers take over with saying a word about where the Torah reading is found, and then our 3 Torah readings.
And if you have this Siddur, the weekday, the readings are on page 288.
Yeah. Here we go. Ready, honey?
Oh, I thought the rabbi was going to say something.
Oh, Rabbi, are you going to make a remark? He says no.
I'll just let the Torah readers announce what chapter they're in and what verses.
Where?
Okay. So you are, this is
Sav.
Vayikra chapter Sav, right?
Yeah, Parshat Sav.
Parshat Sav, and it's
Oh,
chapter 6, verses 1 and 2.
1 through 3.
1 through 3, sorry. And again, I'm not sure what page number that is for those of you who have books.
Do you call the Torah reader? Or do you...
Okay, I'll do it. ותגלה ותראה מלכותו עלינו בזמן קרוב, יכול פליטתנו פליטת עמו בית ישראל, לכן לחסד ורחמים ברצון ומר אמן. הכל הודו גודל אלוהינו ותנו כבוד תורה, כהן קרוב יעמוד. חיה שרה בת יודל זלבו, הכהן ומרים. Baruch Shenatan Torah Li'amo Yisrael B'Kedushato. Okay. V'atem hadbekim b'Adonai Elohechem Chaim Kulchem Hayom. Got it?
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Got it, kissing right.
Baruch Adonai havarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Adonai
Shema.
noten haTorah.
Amen. You say amen. No, you don't say amen.
Vaydaber Adonai al Moshe lemor, tzav et Aharon v'et panav lemor, zo Torah haolah, haolah al mokedah al hamizbeach kol halayla ad haboker ve'esh hamizbeach tukad bo v'lavash hakohen madovad. Miknaseva Yobash al Basaro, Veherim et Hadeshen, Asher Tochal Ha'esh et Ha'olah al Hamizbeach, this Samo Eitzel Hamizbeach.
Say the last stuff.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai
Shema.
noten haTorah.
Amen. Who's next? Oh wait, you read the wrong one. It's this one.
Oh, sorry. You pointed to.
I know I made a mistake. Top of page 142.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai
Shalom.
noten haTorah.
Okay, Yamod. Which one of you is Eric? Which one of you is reading next?
Me. I am reading next.
Okay. What is your? Am I unmuted?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good.
Okay, you're unmuted. What is? Can you just say out your Hebrew name? Yamod.
Idriya bat Avraham v'Sarah.
B'Riyah bar Abraham b'Sarah. Sheni.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And what is your reading? Just call it out.
Verses 4 through 7.
Okay, still in Psalms.
Page 614 in the Etz Chaim.
Or 288 if you're in the weekday Red Sim Shalom.
So she's picking up where you left off. Right there.
ופשט את בגדיו, ולבש בגדים אחרים, והוציא את הדשן על מחוץ המחנה, אל מקום טהור, והאש על המזבח, תוקד בו לא תכבה, וביער עליה הכהן, עצים בבוקר, וערך עליה העולם, והקטיר עליה חלבי השלמים, אש תמיד תוקד על המזבח לא תכבה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת בחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Yamod. Eric, go ahead.
Yisroel Chaim Daniel Ben Mordechai V'Miriam.
Yisrael, Daniel, Ben Mordechai, Miriam, Shlishi.
Machuat Adonai Hamorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Please say where you are. Verse 7.
Verses 7 through 11. V'zot Torah hamincha הקריב אותה בני אהרון לפני אדוני אל פני המזבח, והרים ממנו בקומצו מסולת המנחה ומשמעה ואת כל הלבנה אשר על המנחה והקטיר המזבח ריח מכוח אזכרת לאדוני והנותרת ממנה יאכלו אהרון ובניו מצות תאכל במקום קדוש בחצר המועד יאכלו לו תהפך חמץ חלקם נתתי אותם מאישי קודש קדשים הוא כחטאת וכעשם כל זכר בבני אהרון יאכלנה חוק עולם לדורותיהם מאישי אדוני כל אשר ייגע בהם יקדש. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת בחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Let's cover the Torah. You got that. Rabbi, do you want to say a Misha Berach for those who are ill at this point?
That's a yes. So I will recite the Misha Berach, and I invite you to bring to mind the name or names of those for whom you pray in the midst of the pause. Misha Berach Avotenu Vimotenu Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech v'Rapeh et ha'cholim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimelei Rachem Lehem L'Chzatam L'Rapotam V'Yishlach Lehem Refuah Shlema L'Chol Everehem V'Gideim B'Tosho Cholei Yisrael V'Yoshvei Tevel Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf Hashtav L'Zman Kariv V'Nomar Amen.
Okay. I'll say the Kaddish. Yikadav Yikadash Merabah Yamra. Yalma Divrachilutei, Yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon V'yumechon V'chayeh, L'chol Beit Yisrael B'Gala V'Zman Kariv V'Yimru Amen. Yesh Merabah Mechorach Le'olam Lo Me'omaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitbar V'mam V'yitnasei. V'yadar V'yalev V'yalaus Medikudusha B'richu. Le'elam Min Kol B'chata V'shirata, Dushvachata V'nechamata, Damiran V'yalma V'yimru Amen. Now we have to put this back. See here. Pull through that. Go. Top line. Got it? Just drape it over, just throw it over the top and thread it through because it splits.
Yeah.
It's not over the top completely.
No.
There it is, now it is. Is it in? Okay, good. Okay. I'll pick it up now. Okay. V'zod ha'Torah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. I'll do this. Ya'alelu et Shem Adonai ki nizkav shemo levado. Hodo el eretz b'shamayim v'yarem keren yamot ilal chol chasid al bnei Yisrael akrovo. Hallelujah. LeDavid Mizmar, L'Adonai haaretz u'mola tevel v'yoshvei bakihu al yamim yesada v'al neharot l'koneneha mi'aleh bahar Adonai u'miyakum bimkom kadsho lefi kafayim zachar levav asher lo nisa v'sav nafshi Me'as nishbar l'ilma, Yisa bracha me'ed Adonai, Tzachar lehu, Zedor shav, Mevakshei panecha Yaakov Selah, Zeyu she'arim roshechem, V'hinasu pichei olam yavo melecha avod. Mize melech hakavod, Adonai Jesus v'gibor, Adonai gibor melchama. Seyu she'arim roshechem, Seyu pitchei olam yavo melech hakavod. Mihu ze melech hakavod, Adonai Tzevaot, u'melech hakavod. Selah. Yeah. Because it is the ark. ובנוחה יאמר. לקחתי טוב, כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזבו, עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה, ותומכך מאושר, דרכך דרכי נועם, וכל נתיבותיך שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, חדש ימינו כקדם. You may be seated, page 152. Ashrei. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha Ujalucha Selah. Shomer Adonai kol avav v'kol rishim yashmihi Tilat Adonai yadaber pi yavarei kol basar shen kachol le'olam v'ed V'anachnu levarech yamei ata v'ad olam Hallelujah. And we go to Kaddish Shalem on page 158. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabba v'yalmad yivrachutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayi l'chol beit Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kori v'imru amen Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam le'olmaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'shomam v'yitnaseh v'yidar v'yidalev v'yidal shmei l'kudashah Richu Leila min kol berchata v'shirata Tishvachata v'nechemata Damiron v'yalma v'imeru Amen Yitgabal tzlor kol nevod kol l'chol Yisrael Kadam v'hon b'shmaya v'imru Amen Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim oleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imeru Amen Oseh shalom b'ramav Hu yaseh shalom Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Middle of page 160. Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol l'tekedu lali alser reshit shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam chalkenu kahen v'gol aleinu v'chol hamonam v'yanachnu chorim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, כתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated except for mortars and those observing yahrzeit. Middle of page 162, Mourner's Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
V'yalmad yivrach eltei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayi l'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala b'zman kariv v'imru amen.
Amen.
Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam v'olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei l'kudashah b'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata damiron v'yalma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shalom Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen.
Amen.
Oseh Shalom B'Mamav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen.
Amen. I want to thank Howard and Ellen and Katie and Eric for leading and enabling our service this morning. The Fast of the Firstborn, as I was sharing with Ellen at the outset, is a service that has a history. It's grounded in identification with the story of Egypt as our own story. And in that light, to see ourselves in Egypt on the night or before the departure, a night in which firstborn males, not only human, but of all firstborn males, of the livestock as well, were endangered. In fact, of all the 10 plagues, each of the first 9 can be explained by a natural occurrence. There are locusts from time to time. There is heavy fog from time to time. The one plague that, if you will, that stands apart from nature is the 10th plague, the death of the firstborn male. And as one is identified with the story, firstborn males, knowing there is danger, fast on that day, a form of prayer. But there's an exception as the customs evolved. It's a rabbinic holiday or rabbinic encouragement to fast. And the rabbinic opportunity to get out of fasting is to participate in a mitzvah meal. And a mitzvah meal occurs whenever there's a simcha of ritual. That can be a brit milah. And as an aside, I have a brit milah tomorrow. If they had done it today, then the brit milah couldn't have done it today because today's only day 7, but tomorrow's day 8. But if there was a brit milah, all Jews are encouraged to go to a brit milah. You don't have to be invited. That's a good thing to know. If you know of a brit milah, if you're in Jerusalem, just go and you get to stay for the meal because it's a mitzvah meal. And likewise, the completion of study for our sages was worthy of celebration. And each year, I see it as my responsibility to complete something of significance in learning that might feel worthy of at least a l'chaim, if not a full-blown, buffet. So this year, as my teaching, and I'm going to limit myself, in my mind, I was limiting myself to 10 minutes, so I have 8 more. And that is to share with you my translation of the longest chapter in the entire Bible. It happens also to be a translation of a psalm, the longest of the Psalms, Psalm 119. It's an acrostic. Acrostic meaning it's the Aleph Bet. There's 22 letters in the Aleph Bet. And this acrostic is composed of 8 verses for every letter. Hence, 8 times 22, 176. The theme of Psalm 119 is the love of Torah. Now, it's not clear if Torah is the 5 books of Moses that were so ably read today, or Torah more generically is instruction, the wisdom that God has given to the people. So it's not clear. Bible scholars will debate this point. There will be fully 8 different synonyms used, with Torah being one. So in some cases, it'll be instruction, teaching, word, declaration. There are a lot of synonyms, and it's a love song about how wisdom comes through mitzvot, and also the word mitzvah is used, Torah is used, And this particular psalm is used to fulfill a custom. And the custom is to honor a loved one who has departed, or even for a special occasion, you spell out his or her name with Hebrew letters, with each letter being the first letter of a verse from Psalms. So that's a traditional custom. Because this psalm is long, 8 verses for every letter, it is well suited to always and easily find the letters you need. So a word, I'm not going to read all 176 verses today, but I will be teaching Psalm 119 just after Pesach in greater detail and doing it on more than one morning. I will add, as an infomercial, at 9:30, I have the privilege to honor Howard Mirowitz with the learning of Psalm 115, Their Idols Are Silver and Gold. So what I share in celebration this morning is the achievement of translating Psalm 119. I've been working on it for weeks. For each of the Psalms that I teach, I do my own translation, which is a motivation to learn the Psalm deeply. And this is such a long Psalm that it took a long time. I was up till late last night. I'm grateful for each of you as my motivators to get it done. So a couple of words about the challenge of translating Bible, in this case, Psalms, and then to read from A to Z. I'm going to read the Aleph and then the Tuf of Psalm 119 so as to have a context for Siyum. The challenge in translating Hebrew is, first of all, there is no capitalization. So for pronouns, when it says you, as an example, you don't know if the you is with a capital Y, referring to God, or it's to somebody that the psalmist is talking about. That's one challenge, no capitalization. Second challenge, which is why all translations are interpretation. In Hebrew, in the Bible, there are only 2 tenses, perfect and imperfect. Perfect is present to past. Imperfect is present to future, as well as command and hope, like Joseph, let us, may. And so you have 2 tenses rather than 3 or 4 or 5. And as a result, when you pick up, as I do, 10 translations and I spread them across my kitchen table to try and discern how best for me to translate a verse, the grammar is unclear and it will be consistently inconsistent. Texts will choose with Psalm 119 to choose whether the psalmist is referring to the past, the present, the future, or as a command. In Bible, particularly in Psalms, I have hardly found a psalm, and you can see I have been at this now since March, last March, for a year, most weeks 3 times a week. In Psalm 119, as an example, there are words that are used nowhere else in the Bible. That's the nature of a poet. A poet wants either to use a word in a distinctively new way, or even to pick a word that has not been found anywhere else, which is true for Psalm 119. It's true for most Psalms, that there's something, if you will, creative in the use of the language, which leads the reader to guess by context as to meaning, and those guesses can be quite divergent. And so those are some of the challenges of translation. And I'll add one contemporary challenge, and that is for me not giving God a gender. Sometimes I will give players in a psalm a gender. Yesterday there were husbands and wives, so that's good. But giving God no gender creates challenge as well with the repeating of God's name. With that, I'm going to pull up Psalm 119. It's fresh off the printing press. Now, I'm just going to scroll real quickly just to show you how long this is. Again, the longest chapter in the entire Bible. It goes on and on and on. Still going on. Not that long. It's still finite. So I could and will, when I teach this psalm, talk about how different authors like Robert Alter, these are contemporary writers, Robert Alter, Adin Steinsaltz, Benjamin Siegel, Martin Cohen, Richard Levy, Art Scroll, how they translate differently is part of the learning of the richness of each psalm. With that, the 8 alepphs and then the 8 tufs. Happy are they who keep God's testimonies with, I'm got ahead of myself. Happy are they with integrity of the way, the walkers in the Torah of Adonai. Happy are they who keep God's testimonies with whole heart. They seek God. Indeed, they do no wrong. In God's ways they walk. You have commanded your precepts to observe very much. I implore, may my ways be firmly set to observe your statutes. Then I will not be ashamed when I look to all your commandments. I will give thanks to you with uprightness of heart, with my learning laws of your righteousness, your statutes I will observe. Do not forsake me endlessly. So one other comment as I go to the end. In terms of my own distinctive style of translation, it's to follow the Hebrew as closely as I can, both in the order of the words and in the simplest translation of the words. And now for tough. I'm smiling. I worked on this. Here's something else to note that's interesting, and Robert Alter points this out. The shin and sin. So look at 164 is Sheva b'yom hilaletecha. 7 times a day do I praise you. And then 166. 165 is shalom. But 166 is sibarti. I have waited, lishuatcha, for your deliverance, Adonai. And that is, in the Bible, shin and sin are the same letter. It's not till the Middle Ages that they will be separated as separate letters, shin and sin. So that's something to note in terms of 22 is counting those as one, just like bet and vet are one letter, not two. And so now the end of the Psalm 169. Let come near my song before you, Adonai. As is your word, give me understanding. Let come my plea before you, as is your declaration, save me. Let my lips utter praise, because you teach me your statutes. Let my tongue echo your declaration, for all your commandments are just. Let your hand be for a help to me, for your precepts I have chosen. I have longed for your deliverance, Adonai, and your Torah is my delight. Enliven my soul, and it shall praise you, and let your laws help me. I have strayed like a lost sheep. Seek your servant for your commandments I have not forgotten. And so one closing comment, a commentary on a verse to round this out, and that is a teaching of the Zohar on verse 18. This is the Zohar, the third volume, 152, and it's a short little awareness. Uncover my eyes, and I will look at wonders from your Torah. And the Zohar comments regarding Torah, that the stories of Torah are like an outer garment. The body that's getting covered are the mitzvot, the actions that the stories motivate us to do. And the soul is that which is the hidden meaning, the contemplation that is worthy of Torah. And so in this hymn to Torah, there is the acknowledgement that Torah, instruction, God's word, is for us to be turned over and turned over, to be understood as being multi-layered, but ultimately to be leading us to action and to appreciation of mystery. And so with that as our teaching and our celebration of Torah, I invite those who were reciting Mourner's Kaddish to do so, because it is study that leads to memory and to honoring our loved ones. And so Kaddish to conclude our service. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru Amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach leolam olmei olmaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bi'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. I wish all our firstborns a good breakfast to everyone. Good last preparations before Pesach. We will again have services Friday night at 6, Shabbat morning at 10, Sunday service at 9:30, also in the courtyard. And Carl Cedar and I and others will be helping lead our service for second Seder from 6 to 7:15 on Sunday evening, all by Zoom or on Sunday morning in person. It's a joy to see each of you. Matt Cohen and Mimi and Mike and Sarah, Ari, Robert, Sherwin, Anvar, Jim, to Howard, much thank you, and to Ellen and to Katie and Eric, Cyrus, Harris and Jan, all, Esther, Mimi. Have a good day. And Chag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom. Be well.
Chag Sameach. Thank you
Good
very
to
much.
see you,
Thank
Matt.
you, Howard.
Is that Davi next to you, Matt?
Yes, she
Say
came
hi.
home just
Hi,
for
Davi.
pickup, but she's still
Hi,
working.
Thank you so much.
How
I thought maybe you
wonderful,
were here.
Davi.
Ariel's working, so.
I didn't see you, Davi. You were covered at the bottom here. What a treat. It has been much of your life that we've been together.
I think
Thank you, Rabbi. See you in a few